Okay, well, we're going to get started. I got 7 o'clock, so we're going to get rolling with the Wednesday Wind Down webinar. The webinar and YouTube show for hikers, outdoors folks that aren't getting outdoors as much as they want, that can't hang out with their friends as much as they want. So we're doing it online. So I'm Dan Conger. I'm the host tonight. And I've got Sandra with me. Sandra, would you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Sandra Grow. A frustrated backpacker just like Dan.
Yeah. A little less frustrated when we get out a little bit. So now it's frustrated with smoke and heat and air quality. So it's like, so tonight we're going to be talking about clothing systems and clothing systems specifically for warmer climates. So often you hear talk about layering systems, and they're assuming for the worst that you're going to be out in some 10 degree or 20 below type of stuff. That's, you got to search out 20 degrees if you're going to be in California. I mean, unless you're going on a Sierra hike in December or January, you're not going to see those temperatures in California. And few people, I don't know anyone in my circle of friends that's qualified enough to do a Sierra through hike. Although some people have done that over the winter.
My cousin's husband is that guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'll drink a beer with him someday. I'd love to hear their story.
He's got some good ones.
I bet. So talking about warm climate layering and clothing systems. So I'm going to start off by saying I've broken my categories of into a couple of different areas. So I've broken it into a summer system, a fall and spring system, so pretty much shoulder seasons, rain, so anytime it's wet. Now, if you're in California where we are, there's 5-10 days a year, and then snow. So really cold or snow. So those are my 4 categories that I'm breaking them into because they make sense for me, and it's my show. I got to do whatever I want. So there. Okay, so my summer system. My base layer, my base component, the thing that is against my system is pretty much everything. But in the traditional base layer system, I've just got synthetic briefs. Okay, so that's my traditional. And then my mid layer, well, let's start with my feet. I've been using trail runners for years now. So I use a trail runner and a very light, thin sock. That's it. That's all I'm using for my feet. And then I'm using a Prana stretch pants. And these are just they're a stretchy pant that kind of have a little bit of a jean look to it. They got square pockets. They don't have the cargo pockets. These are not convertible pants. They do not zip off into shorts. So those are the pants that I've kind of figured out. It's funny. It took me a while to find pants that I like because I kept trying to find pants with integral belts. And once I got over that, it kind of opened the door. So I found a nice, good elastic belt that seems to work for me. So these seem to be my pants that I'm going to have for the next probably 10 years. So I also for my top, I'm using a long sleeve sun shirt. So that's exactly what I'm wearing. This is a Royal Robbins sun shirt. I want something that's lightish, but I don't want white because anyone that's ever backpacked, right? You wear white or light colored, and the straps grind in, and it's never.
It has to be a version of brown because it's never going to be clean again. So it has to be some iteration that has brown in it.
So when we had kids in the house, Jill's concept, my wife's concept for carpet color was go out, get a handful of dirt, and say, "This is the color carpeting I want." So.
He always has been my hero.
My true outer layer that I have is really my sun hat. And my sun hat is actually, it's a little bit different than some other floppy hats. The problem I've always had with sun hats is if they ever get wet, if you wore them in a rainstorm, flops down in your face, kind of like this is doing here right now. And then it's worthless and it just pisses me off. So a couple times I carry a ball cap and this cap, and I'd switch them out. Like, that's dumb. Well, this is made by Shelta, Shelta, and it has a plastic brim, right? And see, this is I have to really work to bend this. So this could be soaking wet or in the wind. It will not flop down on my face. Definitely more expensive, but I've been really happy with them. So that's my outer. Now, keeping in mind that, well, I should have started off with this stuff. I'm always afraid I'm going to be too hot. Right now, sitting in my long sleeve sun shirt to show you folks. I'm a little bit warmer than I'd like, and I'm not comfortable with it. So as soon as we're done with the show, I'm going to take it off and put on a t-shirt. Okay. That's me. Okay. So my only extra thing that I'll bring is a super lightweight. It's not even a wind shirt. It's a windbreaker. Maybe runners might wear this. You can see it's super thin, and it's going to bunch down to about the size of your fist. So it's not going to offer any insulation, only wind. And it does have a hood in it, so that's kind of nice. This is ridiculously expensive, but I got it because I was exchanging something, so it wasn't real money. So that's pretty much my summer system. So Sandra, the person that's always cold,
Yay.
how does your no. How does your summer system vary from mine?
I think it's just probably a measure of thickness for me. Mm-hmm. I always wear my base layer is always the same, and up against my skin, I need something that's just going to be like supportive and is like available for me. And so I always wear the same kind of underwear, and it's like a DKNY, and it's just something that I know is not going to chafe me, cold or hot. I can't sweat or be cold and have it. So a DKNY has a really nice, comfortable things that I wear. And then when I get to my shirt, I always wear long sleeves. I think anybody that has hiked with me, I don't know that anyone has ever seen me in short sleeves on a hike. That's on my back. I need the sun protection, but I also need a little bit of protection because that tiny edge of coolness first thing in the morning, I don't find comfortable. And so long sleeves, and I wear long pants. I never wear the convertible pants. I have all of the skin covered. I'm one of those believers that if you have the skin covered and you don't have sun directly on you, you're not going to get as hot. So I believe that. Mm-hmm. So I cover it up, and I wear trail runners as well. And this year I went to the Ultra Temp, and those you can get wet. And so my plan was just like, hey, if my feet are wet, my feet are wet. And then I wear toe socks. So I wear this year, because it was warm and it's summertime, I'll wear a thin toe sock, but I always wear toe socks because I don't wear an outer and an inner liner. Okay. And then for my hat, I wear the Sunday. And the Sunday is a great hat because it has a wire that goes from edge to edge. And so it can get wet as much as you need it to, and no water is going to drip off. Yeah. It has a really, really long brim. And so I have a lot of sun protection, but the skirt on the back comes down. And so I feel like I have good sun protection and rain protection as well. With the skirt going down in the back, you don't have the drip off. It's just kind of just going down the back, and then it's going to hit my rain jacket.
Great. So there's a question about summer, and Dave asked the question, is this summer in San Diego proper? Is it summer in the mountains? And is it summer where is it summer? It's like, yes. Because it's fun. I will wear, and I think you're the same way, I will wear the same system in the Sierra Nevada or here. Now, what I might do is, there have been years in the Sierra Nevada where it's a little cooler, and I may wear one extra layer. I might bump into my fall spring system, which is coming up.
I did have a thicker shirt that I used to wear. And so it depended upon, like, we would do a weather thing, and it was like, it's going to be a little chilly this year. And so it would be a lot like this shirt that I have on. It's just a technical running shirt, but it's kind of unusual. I got it from Roadrunner. The front of the shirt is a thicker fabric than the back.
Yeah.
And so the cold wind up against me, I feel like I have a bit of a buffer for it.
Nice. Okay, so now we're going to transition into the shoulder season, so fall and spring. So probably the biggest change for me, slow down, is I'm going to probably have this a short sleeve synthetic tee under this almost the entire time. Where, Kelly, one of my hiking buds, he'll do this all summer. I'm like, no, that's terrifying. I might be too hot. I will be too hot if I do that one. So what's funny for me is, I will spend $50, $80 on a shirt, and my other, I'll spend a lot of money on it. I have a personal problem with spending more than $12 on a synthetic t-shirt. So this is just Target crap, right? So that's my top layer. My bottom is the same, right? Same trail runners, same pants, same shorts, same sun hat. But now my extra layers I'm going to carry, there's some difference there. So a couple things there. Now I'm going to probably switch to, I believe this is Marmot makes this. It's called a wind shirt. And essentially it's a lined windbreaker. This is made by Marmot, right? These used to be the ultralight jackets that were out there, and then that other one that I showed you that came out. So this is probably my go-to wind / a little bit of insulation layer in the fall and spring. And then probably what I'm going to do, assuming it's getting a little cooler, I'm going to start bringing another warm layer. So for me, my go-to warm base layer is a Patagonia R1 hoodie, right? So it has a built-in hood. I think it's a 3/4 zip or quarter zip. And then it's got that fantastic micro grid fleece. So this is a great insulation. Again, ridiculously expensive, but some sort of a insulating layer. And then this is about the time of year where I'm going to always start carrying a warm hat. This is one of my lighter weight hats, and to make up for spending $90 or $100 on something like that, this is the one I found on the bus in Mammoth Mountain. So I took it home.
Oh, really? Did you really?
Oh, totally. Took it home and washed it. It's the same one. And it's the North Face. Yeah, that's right.
Oh my.
And then some super, super lightweight gloves. So I have found, and this is just the truth, is that warm hands and a warm head will just make you so much more comfortable. Not even talking about any science on making you warmer. You just feel comfortable. So if the wind's howling, you got a hat, a glove, it just boosts you. So
yeah.
So that's my spring, summer, shoulder season. So how does your shoulder season gear vary, Sandra?
So I will have, especially even here in the spring and in the fall, I will hike with gloves on, because I hike in the morning. And so, like right now, Rich and I are leaving the house 4:45 or so, and then getting out onto the mountain and trying to get back before anybody else is out. So I'll wear, like, these are Nike, they're running gloves. And so they're reflective, and they just take that edge off. And so I'll wear these to get me started, and maybe if my hands are cold, I'll just keep these on. I will wear one of those little ski hats. If the tips of my ears on top are covered and warm, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine. That's all I need, is I need my ears to get warm. And so even in the summertime, I'll wear one of the buffs, but you'd have to look. I always have my ears covered, because I just need that little bit, and it'll keep me totally warm. Now on my other outer layer, if I can tell, like, if there's a breeze, I'm going to switch to that thermal layer with an undershirt, and it's just like a nylon technical undershirt, but that unusually enough, it's a tank top.
Sure, right. Doesn't take much.
Yeah, and it's just, I'll put a tank top on, and then I'll wear that thermal layer, and that thermal layer may be the thing that I wear all day. I wouldn't have wore any other layer that I can kind of peel off. I would have brought it with me, but once I'm wearing something, I feel like I've dialed it in for the day, and I'm locked.
Good. Okay, so next category is wet weather, rain. Okay. So same base layer. So same briefs, probably same undershirt that I had before. I'm going to probably wear the same. I'm going to wear the same trail runners, the same socks, the same pants, the same sun shirt. I might bring the sun hat. I might not. Kind of depends if it's going to be if it's going to be just rain. I won't go for the sun hat. I might go to a ball cap. Now, what I like about a ball cap is a ball cap works really, really well with the hood on a jacket. So you can turn your head and the hood will move with you because it's, hoods on jackets are famous for staying stationary in your turn and you can't, your peripheral just goes to crap, right? You can't see. So if I know it's going to be raining, I might change out my sun hat for a ball cap. Okay, so at this point now now for my true outer, I've got a true rain shell. I've got a hard rain shell. I'm trying to think who I'm using. I think I'm using a Marmot. It's not the Helium, but it's another Marmot. And I don't use rain pants. I stopped using rain pants, and I have a ULA rain kilt. Right. So what would we say those were? 2.8 ounces.
2.8, yeah.
2.8.
Yours is ULA, and I think mine's is Z-Packs.
Okay. And really, it's great. Jim and Dave, I've apologized to you before. I've made fun of you, and I've slowly taken over most everything that you've been doing. It's just some sil nylon, and the bottom of your feet are still exposed, but it's super light. It's super convenient. It breathes like you wouldn't believe. So I'll take this on my summer trips when I think it's going to when it rains in the Sierra most times in the summer, or for local summer trips.
You and I went out one year to Marina for kickoff, and it was raining.
Right.
And that I still wore rain pants then, and my pants under my rain pants got wet up past my knees. And that day I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do this again.
Screw this, yeah.
That was when I switched to the kilt as well, because it didn't help. Right. If your pants are going to get wet to your knees, even with rain pants on, just put a kilt on, and at least you're hopefully going to get the airflow to have your pants dry.
Right. Right. And if you don't wear pants under the kilt, it's even easier, even better airflow. Okay. So the other thing that's not clothing that would be part of my rain gear system is an umbrella. So umbrellas are great. So Sandra and I were talking about this, and we were laughing about it when you guys were coming in. So my umbrella I've had for a few years, and it's an old Go Light umbrella. It's got a chrome dome. Pardon me. So it's silver outside, black on the inside, reflective. So I use it for rain. I don't use it for sun. And the silver chrome is starting to come off. I'm like, does that make it any less waterproof? So I stuck it in the shower. I'm like, no, it's still waterproof. It's only for reflective purposes. So I set it outside in the front yard to dry off in the 90-degree heat. It's gone. Kelly, it joined your umbrella and your red croc. It disappeared. So it might be down the street, but I think it's gone. So it's kind of a shame that I tested it and I know it still works, but it's gone. So
wait, did you have it by your library and somebody think it was?
No, it was inside the fence.
Okay.
Yeah. So then the clothing, my extra backup stuff, probably going to bring the R1 hoodie, probably going to bring the knit hat, probably going to bring the gloves. Because now if it's warm rain, sometimes even wearing a rain shell is hot and clammy. That's one of the bonus things about an umbrella is you don't always have to wear that. So does your rain system vary much?
In my rain system, I kind of feel like I'm walking this fine line because I want to wear my rain jacket to stay warm. I won't have my Sunday hat on. I'll have just like a little beanie on with the hood of my rain jacket. And then I'm always worried that the wind and the cold, if my jacket gets wet on the outside and it's up against my skin, I'm going to feel cold. So I feel like I have to wear long sleeves, even though I could probably get away with, just maybe even the tank top. I'll still opt for the long sleeves just as that one layered so much body heat doesn't leave me, because that is my problem. I'm always cold.
Yeah.
So I just do that, pop the hat on, and then if I know, like the day we went out to Marina, if I know I'm going to be wet, and it's virtually guaranteed, I'm going to wear thinner socks than my thick ones, just so I have a hope that they may dry out, or they're just not going to be so soppy wet on me. So I
Yeah.
will,
Yeah.
if it's a plan, like even when we went to San Jacinto and it was the cold, and I had thinner socks on that day.
Interesting. Interesting. Now we're kind of talking about gear that's while you're moving. We really haven't gotten into gear when you're stationary, which is, there's a change up there. So we'll see if we have time to talk about that in the end.
Okay.
Okay. So let's talk about really cold, or cold for California in the West is, for me, extreme cold is 20 and 25 degrees Fahrenheit, not below 20 and 25. And you're like, oh my God, I don't even want any part of that. Right. And then, people, my friends in the East Coast are like, it's 20, it's t-shirt weather. Like, holy crap. So we got different take on that one. So the other thing I found is, when I travel for work and I go to cold climates in the winter, my San Diego cold weather gear kind of works. It doesn't work great, but it works. It can work, right? It's not Canadian winter cold. Okay, so my base layer, same standard briefs, no long johns for me. Still, I'm very likely going to run hot, so no long johns. I will change that short sleeve shirt to a long sleeve synthetic shirt. Okay, and kind of, I still will bring the sun shirt. Occasionally, I won't wear this. I might just wear the R1 straight over this one. Footwear, if I'm going to be in the snow, I'm probably going to change to a full boot. And if I'm doing that, I'm probably going to go with some wool socks. So I will change my footwear there. Same Prana stretch pants. That R1 hoodie will probably be on me the entire time. So if it's, 20, 30 degrees, even when I'm moving around, maybe not. It kind of depends. Because I have been, we were out snowshoeing, and I was wearing a long sleeve tee, this slightly heavier wind shirt, and a hat, and it was 25 degrees, and I was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But we were moving.
Because you were moving. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we stopped for lunch, and I think I added one more layer, but I did not turn to freezing. Okay, so my outer, I'm going to use that same rain shell. This time for the snow, I will bring rain pants instead of the kilt. And then the hat and the gloves, I'm going to upgrade to a heavier hat and a heavier gloves. Now, here's my backup, the difference one. This is one of the few things, this is where I'm a little bit different on this one, is I'm going to bring two things. So my down puffy that I own is a Patagonia down sweater, and it's a super light, it's super thin, super light, right? So this is definitely not a down parka, and this will get relatively small. So I will never wear this when I'm hiking. That's just going to be way too warm for me, and I don't think most down, it has to be pretty severe to ever hike in down. So that's definitely my backup when we stop and slow down. The other thing is, if it's going to be really cold, if we're going to stop and slow down and my legs might get cold, for me, if I wear long johns, long bottoms, the likelihood of me overheating is very, very high. So now changing layers on to long bottoms means you got to take off your boots, you got to take off your pants, and they have your briefs on. You're going to maybe put your long johns over your briefs, or scare your friends. And you got a lot of skin exposed, right? So for me, you're either committed to them or not for the entire day. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't want to commit. I have a fear of committing on layers here. So, don't tell my wife, right? I have found that a pair of crappy fleece pants will work really well for me. And they were too long. We just hemmed them a little bit, and they're kind of bulky, but they work. So,
and you wear those under your rain pants?
Well, I could wear them over my Prana pants, They're big enough. They'll go over my prana pants. I could take them off, put them on. These are probably when I'm in camp that I'm going to do them. So maybe over the rain pants, maybe not. If I'm sitting around on a foam pad, I'll probably just wear these. These will be plenty. So now if I'm on the cusp, I might bring the long bottoms, but I won't. Those are the two overlaps. So how's your snow clothing vary?
My snow clothing varies in that I'm going to wear my toe socks. I'm definitely going to be in knee-high toe socks, and I also have they're running pants, so they're the technical, but they're like a long john. And so I wear those and I put those under my pants. So if it's cold, if we're talking 30 degrees, something like that, I've got long johns under my pants. And that's just how I roll. And then I'll have on an undershirt, my base layer, and I have a technical layer as well. And so I may hike in either my technical shirt, or I'll put on my rain layer, so that that can kind of act like an insulating layer for me, to where it's not going to let a lot of my body heat leave me and kind of lock it in. The only worry I have is, how hard am I exerting? Am I going to be wet whenever I take that layer off?
Right.
So if I'm snowshoeing, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to wear the technical shirt. But if we're just kind of like poking around and, just horsing around, it really depends upon how much exertion. As soon as I get my heart rate up, I do worry that I'm going to cool off and get cold. And then I'll have the hat on. And then like if we are backpacking and we're going to snow backpack, one of the first things we do when we get to camp and we set up our tent is I get in and I strip down and I change my base layer. And I change to dry. And so I have on dry socks, I have on dry underwear, and I will have taken off maybe the thermal pants that I wore and put on my sleep pants.
Oh,
and, right. And so my sleep pants are a lot like that. So it would have been a second layer that I would have brought with me just to kind of lock it in. And then I wear a technical shirt in camp with maybe my thermal layer and my down. And you can pretty well count on me having my down on. Like even this summer, I wore my down. No, you guys wore yours like just out of principle the last day, but I didn't have any problem putting mine on in the mornings because I don't want to be uncomfortable.
Yeah. Okay, we got a time for maybe just a few questions. We're definitely running out. Let's see what we've got going on. Someone says that the umbrella works even with pinholes. You're keeping the serious water off you, and I agree with that. Mm-hmm. It just kind of depends how many pinholes my umbrella has now. Once I find it, maybe.
Hopefully, it's not on like a rose bush next door.
Then let's talk activity. Activity makes a big difference, right? Is the more you're exerting yourself, and that's probably the something I learned the first time I went to snow camp with the WBC, the Wilderness Basics course with Sierra Club, is I was wearing way too many layers, and I'm going uphill and snowshoeing with an overly heavy pack, and I'm sweating. I am sweating buckets, and that doesn't do anybody any help, and you're going to wet your layers and you're going to cause all kinds of problems. So that's
what is a great option is when you're on snow camp is to take a buff, and instead of wearing it across your head, just wear it around your neck. I did that, and just a buff around my neck, huge warmth added by that tiny piece of fabric.
Yeah. And I think that the other thing about clothing systems is a couple of things. You need to know yourself. You need to know, do you run hot? Do you run cold? And if you don't know that, you just got to try it out and find out, wow, I slept miserable because I was cold all night, or I was burning up, right? Mm-hmm. So you need to know that. And then I think the other one is you need to kind of figure out how your clothes fit together, right? Because on one trip in the snow, I don't like the way that R1 hoodie fits over this shirt. It's all bunched up, right? I get all this bunch up in my pits. So, and I wasn't wearing a base t-shirt. So while the wind was blowing 15 miles, 20 miles an hour, I took this shirt off. I had my bare skin. I put on a t-shirt. I put the R1 back on. I put my down back on. And by the time I put it back on, I was nearly hypothermic. And if I wasn't with friends, it would have been really scary.
I can't believe you stripped down so far.
I know. It's like, what was I thinking?
Deal with the bunching.
Yes, I'm getting more comfortable with bunching. And then Doug asked the question is, we will, about this list, we'll put, I'll get Sandra's clothing. And I'll put it in a format, and we'll link to a Google Doc on YouTube. So that'll be up probably tomorrow. Okay, so we've run out of time. As always, 30 minutes goes by really quick. Next week, Jim Kurtz is going to be on, and we're going to talk about lightweight backpacking. And so it's a lot to cram into 30 minutes. So we're going to see how we're going to condense it and massage it and get it in there. So let's see. By 1 clock over Sandra's head, we're right on time. By the other, we're about 5 minutes too long. So by my clock, we're 2 minutes.
I think this one's the right one.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's typically the most accurate. I don't know.
All right. Well, Sandra, I want to thank you for joining us. We appreciate that, and I appreciate having the two sides of this one, right? Because if it's just me talking about this is all you need, well,
You're gonna die. You're gonna die of hypothermia if you listen to Dan.
I did that one time. I told Sandra she didn't need the extra jacket, and she came back and she was ready to strangle me. So I didn't. I won't make that mistake with anyone else ever again. So. Okay. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks so much. Good to see y'all.
Bye.
Bye now.